Would have been much better if I didn't go golfing. Yeah, yeah. All right, guys, let's jump into this thing. Let's start with our futures, regular thing. Futures were expected to come down yesterday, and in the night we were looking for it to actually continue a push down here. Right about here, I was expecting it to actually come back down into this number. But futures kind of ran up, hit the mean, and started to run up. And obviously, they had to come back into the mean, broke the mean, and going for this number. And so, our expectation yesterday during the nightly charting session was for it to stay within this range between 42.33 and 42.50 something. It ran up a little bit farther than that, but came right back in that zone. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yet I do want to believe that it's a good thing. But if it would have happened during the overnight session, that it have hit this 42.15 level or something like that, that would have been much more better for us. Now, I don't know what level these are bouncing off of. Might be something on a higher time frame or something, but the futures are bouncing. And this will all depend. Nothing will matter today besides Apple. Just like yesterday, nothing mattered besides Apple. The same thing today. Besides Apple, nothing will matter. Okay, and on the higher time frame, futures are still pointing to the downside. Probably 42.28 would needs to be tested. On the still not looking. The base case from yesterday is still intact. 42. Really looking for that. Uh, So to the downside of 42.30 on the futures, and if the futures starts to push down, then 42.15, and then obviously these lows from yesterday, 41.80 whatnot. And if that breaks, we are continue. We'll reassess the situation. Probably, we're looking for the downside into 4200 again. Sorry, 4150 somewhere on that range. But we'll keep a close eye on that. Currently, not really charting anything below 4200 for now. Okay, and to the upside, I think it's the same thing. 4280 and 4300 is still the same. Whatever the range was yesterday, that range is still intact. Nothing at this moment. Looking nothing beyond that. VIX. VIX is so yesterday I was bearish on VIX for obvious reasons that it had to come back into its right. For this reason, I was bearish on VIX. I wanted it to come back into its 5 and then hit its 8. And our technicals were supporting our thesis that VIX would come down, and it did come down and hit that number and trying to fly off again. Now the VIX is now today is Apple dependent day again. There's no more nothing, no other news that is coming out, or there's no other economic activity that is coming out. So it is Apple dependent, and Apple reported again a blowout quarter, but the guidance was soft. Soft in the sense that it wasn't soft, but yet the street deemed it to be soft. But on any let's say, if I were to have money to buy Apple equity, every 10 points it goes down, I'll keep buying Apple equity. There is buyback under that means there's a bid underneath Apple, 90 billion buyback, and then then you have dividend increase. So most of the funds, pension funds or whatnot, they need to be buying Apple, right? So it's a good buy for them. So there will be a bid under that. Expecting that to continue, that bid to hold Apple up uh, in the long term, of course. So when I say, so this is how you build your portfolios, right? Every time Apple pushes 10 points down, you buy some shares. Every time it pushes down, you buy some more shares. So you start to accumulate, and there's no freaking way that Apple's going to go to tank or whatnot. But still, given there's a chance of recession looming large, you would still want to be very careful with that. Now, here's something that you want to look at VIX, and I spent a lot of time looking at VIX. Here's the red candle, and here is a green candle. The regular candles are showing up as green for VIX, whereas the average, the Heikin is showing up as red. And I tend to believe in average because average is much better, smooth reading than regular candles. However, I'll be monitoring both of these. My expectation from VIX is still to come back into this number 2874 if it hasn't done it already in the pre-market session. I'm expecting, let's see, yeah, I think it has done it already. So I'm expecting for that to hit that number again, and then most likely test its 8 on the Heikin as well. 2792. Should that happen, I'm not certain that will happen, but should that happen, markets will rally. I'm neutral on everything today. Yesterday I was bearish on VIX. That means in principle I was bullish on the markets. Today I am neutral on everything. That means in principle I don't really have a bias to either side. So Apple dependent again today. I will keep looking at Apple. I'm expecting volatility in Apple today. So I'll keep a very close watch on Apple and play accordingly. And here, expecting a bounce right about here, 28, 46, whatnot, expecting a bounce there. And that should be an ephemeral bounce. And if that bounce continues, we'll look for a fix to the upside. But if it fails here, 28, 40, whatnot, and then we'll start to push down into 2790. And should that break, we will come back into this number today, 26 something. But be mindful that it is a Friday. That means zero DTE players will be out there with a small account, or with the smaller option plays and whatnot. So be aware of those plays there. So the volatility might pick up at any time, right? So I'll of course keep a close watch on all of this stuff and SPX levels. So SPY ran hard yesterday, and sorry. Before I get into SPX, I want to go into Apple today. Before that, yesterday Apple ran up almost to 67 or 167, and then pushed down all the way till 153. This happened yesterday, and there are good levels that Apple kind of broke to the upside and to the downside, especially to the downside. This push down should not have happened on Apple. So I don't know if that's a harbinger of things to come, but if it is, then be on the lookout for this. Of course, I'll be monitoring all this activity, and I would strongly encourage to be on voice, at least put it in the background so that I can know what is being said or something like that, so you don't run into surprises. uh, Apple expectation right now for Apple is to, well, can't really put a finger on this, but the way the charts are pointing, expecting a push down here, but it is running into its mean right about 160.56. So if it hits there, and then we're looking for a push into 159.80, something like that. So base case to the downside is this 160.56, which is almost there. And good to have to the downside would be 159.60, or let's round that up at 159.60. Yeah, this is the good to have to the downside. But if it pushes below there, yeah, it will take the markets with it downside. And then, yeah, this number is a good number to bounce. If it doesn't hold, then we are pushing back into these numbers, 156. But right as of now, not playing that range. As of now, I will be looking to play the 15 minutes right here. And then obviously I will keep looking at the 1 hour. The 1 hour technicals are telling that there is a bit of downside as of now. So if it breaks below this number, 160, 159.60, whatnot, then we will reassess a push down. Everything is in a tight range right now. For our chart is pointing same numbers to the upside, 163.69. This is my what is the base case? What the base case to the upside is this 163.14. So expecting a push into this to the upside, and we figured the downside. And if it clears upside, is this is the base case. If I extend this line right here, then 162.53 is my base case to the upside, and good to have would be 163.16. If that breaks, we will reassess the situation. Most likely, we'll run into 164.77. And today, again, the game is Apple versus VIX. That's the game again today. I don't see any other news anywhere besides Apple, besides oil trying to push up, and that push in oil was pretty much guaranteed there. Ed did put out his analysis on that, and he was on point with that USO analysis. I don't know if anybody took it, but if you did, you're doing good on Apple. Sorry, oil. Uh, Besides oil, I don't really see anything anywhere. So if Apple continues to push, they're looking for 163, and perhaps if it comes, if it starts to actually push beyond 162 and 163, then we're looking for 165, 166. Then probably this is where it should stop, 167.73. Right now, pricing none of this. None of this. I don't believe there is going to be a short covering rally or anything because people were not short Apple yesterday. People were just not shorting Apple. People were hedging, but they were never actively shorting Apple yesterday for earnings. Might be today, might sell off might happen. Yeah, might be. There is nothing that can anchor if the sell-off starts now. There is no catalyst like earnings or none of that. So what next, right? So what next? What's going to hold the market up? I don't know. If Apple start to push down, everything will start to come back along with it. And the prime candidate to short would be Tesla, Netflix, Facebook. Facebook might show a bit of strength here because people recently bought into it, and that was a short covering rally that was done. And on weakness, I think on weakness, then I think people will start to again short Facebook because again their guidance is soft. Amazon screwed up, but let's push into before Amazon. We'll start looking at SPY and SPX numbers. SPY ran up, obviously, no surprises there, and came back in, no surprises there. Apple pushes whichever direction Apple moves, everything will move in that direction. So expecting SPY to hit this number right here, 422.22 in the short term. Look for probably a breather here or an ephemeral bounce. Then we can probably push into this number, 422. That's on the short term. Uh, and here is the super trend that it was struggling with yesterday. And the markets were at 43 something. So this was struggling with this super trend. If it comes to the upside, this will again act as the resistance. And a whole lot of these numbers, these movement in the numbers will depend on Apple. The way Apple moves, everything will move the same exact way. Right now, if market were to open, we are looking at 42.30 and the SPY is at 422. So the markets will be opening at about 42. Where is that? Somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. 44.23, 42.36, 42.20, somewhere around here. This range. The markets would be opening about this range. 42.31. Yeah, somewhere around this range. The markets would be testing these numbers here. Just like the SPY is testing these moving averages, the markets would be testing these moving averages, 42.30, somewhere around here right now. So, yeah, it had to come back down, overbought signals. It had to come back down. And probably if it breaks here, right now, if it breaks here, then we're looking for a push back into most likely 4,200. So my base case to the downside would be here, or 42.20, something like that. And sorry, let's open up the daily candles. About where is that 42? So the base case, let's look at the base case. So this would have been my base case if I were charting yesterday. But if this breaks, then my base case is here, 42.11, something like that, to the downside. And that breaks, 4200 is my base case. Sorry, 4200 would be a good to have. And that breaks, we are looking for yesterday's lows around 4180 or something like that. Right now, I'm not really pricing in the mean. Let's open up the weekly index. Oh, here we go. Dump your Amazon. Yeah, yep, done. Yes, no need. We are not charting anymore. We are bullish as fuck. Oh man, this guy, I tell you, Kramer. So if it comes down to 4170, yesterday's lows around 4170, 4180, we will reassess the situation there, obviously. But then I'm not really looking for a push into 4030 as of now. SPY 400, no, as of now, I'm not looking for that. As of now, still not looking for that 4030 number, but that number is coming. Make no mistake, that number is coming. And just because Kramer said, I am, I am, yeah. So here is, if push comes to shove, 4130 is what I'm looking for on SPX. If push comes to shove, 4130 right now, I'm looking at SPX, not really plotting anything beyond that. If Apple kind of continues to push down, then at later some point, we are looking for a push into 400s, sorry, 4,000, and probably lower than that. As of now, where things stand, I'm not really pricing that in. And 42.20, 42.11 is my base case to the downside right now. Based on right now, the market should be operating somewhere around here, 42.30 to 42.20, and I'm expecting a bounce there. But if that breaks, then we're pushing into 42.30 number, then 41.82 or something like that from yesterday's lows. So expecting that to get hit again. And should that break 4200, I don't believe 4200 would do anything today. But then if that breaks, then we are looking for a push into 4140s, and most likely the push into this mean, monthly mean. And we should bounce around that area. Uh, yeah, that's what I'm looking for today for SPX. And to the upside, nothing is saying that there is not going to be an upside. But just let's see. 43.50, not really pricing that in as of now. Okay. The upside case is right here, 42.67, right? 42.67, 42, something like that. Market is right now operating around 42.30, something like that. To the upside, this is my base case, 42.65. And if that breaks, then we're looking for a push into 42.95. Nothing has actually changed from yesterday. Yesterday's numbers were same. Today, again, the numbers are same. 42.65 to the upside base case. 4300 is a good to have. If that clears, look for a push into 43.28, then probably 43.41. Not really pricing in that right now, because Apple, Apple, the game is Apple today. Not really Amazon, not really Google. The game is Apple and Microsoft. If Apple pushes down, Microsoft follows along, then it's over. It's finished basically for tech. So look for that. Apple, the numbers for Apple are here's the numbers for Apple. This is the line in the sand, right? If this breaks below here, the 200 moving average, I'm pretty sure majority of the market participants are watching this and they're looking at this number. And if Apple breaks below that, then the carnage begins. Okay, and most likely Apple will head into this number 154.30. expecting around a bounce around that same moving average, the 50 moving average. But this time, I don't believe it's gonna bounce off of that number. If it did touch that number, I don't believe it's gonna bounce off of that number. Most likely, it will come back into 152. Look for a bounce there, but yet I believe that there are enough conditions in the market that it will push down into 143. Not really pricing that in at all. Not really pricing at any of that at all. Probably the downside is 154, but not really pricing in this number at all. Uh, that might happen if Mr. J. Powell, I don't want to single him out, but the Fed says 75 bips, and yeah, Apple shall see 143. Apple is on a very strong footing. Besides their soft guidance, the buyback is a net positive. The dividend increase is net positive. So I'm expecting that the funds or whatnot they need to be buying Apple. Uh, and besides that, anybody watching anything else?
Did you take a look at Intel?
Tell, sir. Let's INTC, right? Earnings, pretty, pretty decent earnings. Okay, let's look at this. 46. The upside is again, this is the base case with the upside, 43.90, something like that. Okay, let's see.
The reason why I'm looking at this is also the monthly 100 SMA is about a point away. I know you like that as a big bounce point. 43.24. Not sure if
It is
that's
going.
if the
Yep, it's going.
markets are down there.
Yep, it is going there. No questions. Yep, 43.69. It will hit that number. If the market, on any softness, it will go and hit this number, 43.69. Most likely, probably, it will come back into this number, 43.33 or something. But on the regular candles, there is a super trend. That's what it is basing off of. It's bouncing off of that number. And yeah, I believe that on any given softness in the markets, it will push into that number. For now, I think it's trying to hit the mean. And it did hit the mean, and it came back down. So look for if the market comes back in positive, I think it should push above the mean and start to push into 47.52. Yeah, if the markets hold, this should be to the upside. If not, you're looking for a push down to the number that we just saw on the monthly, 43 something, 69, 43.69. And let's go into, yeah, this is the chart I'll be watching. This is based on this chart, I'll be playing this. So looks like on any market, this one is still high. The money flow index is still there. The money is still flowing into the stock. So on any market push up, on any positive stuff or weakness or any weakness in on the big side of things, it will push back into 45. Perhaps look for a 45.25 uh, or any. Ooh, there you go. As we speak, this is happening. And on any weakness in the market, there you go. As we speak, it is happening. There you go. There you go. Anyway, so on any weakness, we'll push back into that number on the monthly. Roblox is a no touch. Roblox is a no touch for me, but maybe for trading, but Roblox is a no touch because it's a consumer discretionary item, and recession will eat up those kind of things. Zoom coming back in, it's a great company actually. Zoom is an exceptionally good company. They have not exceptionally good, but they have earnings. They have earnings. Their earnings are pretty decent. It's not like they're going out anywhere. and the price is pretty decent for it to own here. But to trade, I there are much better companies to trade rather than a Zoom. To the upside, 105 is pretty much if it clears here and then it should push into 102.40, then pretty much 105 to 104 is sitting there. And on any given push in the markets, 105 will happen for this, and it's been trading really well in this in this range. It's been trading really well right about here. This is within this range. It's been trading really well. So yeah, if the markets push, we can really push into 105 to 107. And the base case to the upside, if the markets push, 105. But that would happen only if it can clear the 8 at 102.50. That's how I want to play that. KO is one of the best stocks out there. Um, and you can play KO all day long. You can't go wrong. Maybe you can make a wrong trade because these things don't move big. So you can pick equity, or even you're playing with options. Options would not move too much, but you can learn a lot of technicals from these guys, KO and WBA, Verizon, those ones. You can learn a lot of technical analysis. I think it should come back into 65.76, which is about this is how you test your thesis, right? So you're looking at technicals and you know that it's going to hit this number and it's going to bounce from there. And if it fails to bounce, then you know that it's going to come back into 65.78. That fails, it's going to hit 65.77. So this is how you learn things, and the conditions are there. It is overbought here, and the SMI is starting to point down. The purple bar so far, you can expect one more purple bar. So usually the way this works, goes all the way up, becomes overbought, comes right back into 5, 8, and whatever this is, and we're looking for a push into the mean. So this is how you can build your thesis. Clorox, well, Clorox is a COVID stock basically, or at least it was a basic COVID stock.
Right.
Now I'm not sure how to play this thing. Just the technicals wise, it has to come back into its mean, which is sitting at 147.63, and probably it will go down into 147.33. And if the markets don't hold here, probably it will test yesterday's lows alongside the market, right about here. And that's what it looks like. All right. You is muted. All right, 2 minutes to the open. Let's go. Good luck.